Little bit of breaking news here from Windhorse. Let's hear it, y'all.
The reality is that the market for Kyrie Irving is very narrow. And it's not just narrow. I mean, again, when I talk about the market, I'm not talking about the player's talent. This is a question about the market.
Exactly my point of view from a Hooper's perspective. Everybody's putting this out there that it is all about Kyrie Irving, his personality, his skill level. It has nothing to do with that. Every team would love to have Kyrie Irving come play. The dude's a generational talent. He's an absolute killer. Yes, he's a little bit out there and he thinks the world's flat, but the dude can straight up hoop. But it really boils down to a $36 million contract. There's no teams out there that can just bring this dude in and pay him. And that is where they are really running into issues. Now, this is breaking news about what they're actually thinking about doing with Kevin Durant and actually the Lakers having better talks, more forward talks about this Kyrie Irving trade. That's what we're discussing today. I am your NBA white guy. I talk all things NBA hoops and breaking news from a Hooper's perspective. And if you like that kind of content, then make sure you tap that subscribe button and you click the bell so you're notified every time I do a new video.
Kyrie is an extremely talented player, but at $36 million, with 1 year on his contract, it is hard to find teams that have the construction to offer who are going to accept the risk.
All right, so Kyrie Irving was just spotted in LA again. He was at a Los Angeles Sparks game, the WNBA team. He has been all over. He's been painting that town, guys. What does this tell me? He wants to be there. He's going to do anything to get there. Now, the one thing that I am noticing every single report, and when you just watch all of these players in the Lakers, work out, talk, all their social media profiles, Westbrook is nowhere to be found. He knows he's about to be traded. He knows they want him to be traded. He knows that the Los Angeles Lakers are trying to trade him. That right there, I just have to be on the players, perspective right now. That's got to suck, man. You are an absolute hooper. I was just talking to my son about this yesterday because he's a big, hooping fan. We play a lot of basketball together, and he's, stud out there on the court. He's 10 years old, though. He was like, man, we got to get rid of Westbrook. And I'm like, let's talk about this for a second. You got to realize that this is a player that for his entire career, from high school to college at UCLA to up into the pros, he has dribbled the air out of the ball. He's a triple-double machine. The dude is an absolute machine. He was, doing things that no NBA player ever thought or could imagine doing. That is incredible, and when you talk about him and his presence out there on the court, and I've heard NBA players talk, dude, that is the best player to play alongside. He's the best teammate. The dude works so hard. But when you are delegated or relegated to a different role that you're not used to, playing more of a position player with LeBron James-led team, you're going to really fail. You're going to not succeed if you can't change. That's the thing. Are they going to be able to make this trade? Yes, I do think it's going to happen. But talking about Russell Westbrook and trading him the whole entire season and he can't shoot, and now he's running a different, or at least they're forcing him to play a different role in the game, starts messing with his mind, with his mental. Now, yes, everybody's saying he can't shoot. What do you think he's thinking every time he shoots? Oh my gosh, I'm going to miss this shot and it's going to be all over the news. I think it's unfortunate the way that they're treating the dude. This dude has a family that's had a kid. He has kids, wife, whatever. And so I am on the player side. Now, I was telling my son, I said, dude, when you play in the fourth grade league, you tear everybody up. You run point guard, you're running post, you're running everything. You're telling people where to go. It's easy for you. And you go out there and you kill. Now you got moved up 2 grades to 6th grade and you played a different role. You were playing down in the wing and you were catching the ball and having to make moves. You would travel. You were nervous. One time it slipped through your hand and hit you in the head. That's something you never do when you're playing your talent, your age, right? But when you get put into this new role where you're getting less minutes and you're told to do something you're not used to, you can really either sink or you can rise to the occasion. Now, next time you go out there and play with those 6th graders, you're going to calm down. You're going to know, hey, I can't play worse than last time. You're going to accept that role because you want to play more minutes and you're going to impress the coach, right? But if you continue to go in there and try and do what you do, dribbling the ball, running it, and you've got 6th graders too, and at this age, at 10, 12, 2 years can be a massive difference. So This is the one thing that you have to realize first and foremost, that trading this player and Russell Westbrook, he's not trash. He can go out there to another team and play very well. The unfortunate part is I don't think the Lakers are going to make this trade with the Brooklyn Nets, well, even though they want to, because Brooklyn's not going to do it. Everybody thinks, LA, what are you doing? Why aren't you making this trade? Give up the picks. That's what I've been saying too. But you have to realize Brooklyn's going, look, we have Kevin Durant right now, and for some reason, no team want to give us 400 picks for him and 17 All-Stars, which is what they're asking for. But if Kevin Durant can actually get to a new team and Brooklyn can receive a few young stud players and some draft capital, then heck yeah, they're ready to move off of Russell Westbrook. But they're sitting there going, you know what? We still got you for 4 years, Kevin. You're still one of the top 3 players, if not one of the top players in the NBA, and we want you to play. We've done everything for you. They're playing hardball. They're not wanting to trade him. They're not wanting to get rid of the coaching staff or the general managers in Sean Marks. So they're not going to bring Russell Westbrook in and just blow this thing up for 2 draft picks, right? So you have to think about this again from a Hooper's perspective. It's like, dude, you got Kevin Durant. You got a generational talent right there. We're not going to bring in a player that he already left from Oklahoma City and doesn't want to play with and make this worse. He really wants to play with Kyrie Irving. They have Kyrie Irving under contract. Those two playing together are an incredible team. Get him a little bit of talent around, but they're going to be way more successful than having Westbrook. So that's what we have to think about. Yes, Kyrie Irving is in LA. Yes, the Lakers and the Nets are talking more and more. They're probably sitting there going, okay, here's what we're doing. We're trying to move Kevin Durant. We're trying to get him to maybe Philly. We're trying to get him maybe to, Boston, Miami Heat. Once we do that, we're going to take this trade. But we have to understand that trade has to happen first. Now, maybe lingering down in the season, this trade can happen where Kyrie Irving goes first. I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Again, you cannot bring Russell Westbrook back in to play with Kevin Durant, your all-star player. But the other thing you have to realize is that there's $36.5 million on that contract of Kyrie Irving. So there's no teams out there right now physically able to write the check for $36 million without going way over the lottery, the cap, And comment down below right now, do you think that the Brooklyn Nets should move Kyrie Irving first before Kevin Durant? I think I would love to see it as a Laker and a LeBron fan. I got the LeBrons in the back right there, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's viable. You're not going to just destroy your team, the Brooklyn Nets, if you still have Kevin Durant there. And I do believe that the Lakers situation is way worse than Brooklyn. You have not heard Kevin Durant say anything bad about Kyrie Irving, no matter what happened last season. So if push comes to shove, I think the two guys will play together for Brooklyn, and they can ball out if they get along. Hey, maybe they have some talks like, let's just do this, man. Let's push. We wanted to play together. Let's see what we can do. If we ball out and we go into the depths of the playoffs, maybe Kyrie gets that max extension or at least a massive contract with Brooklyn for 4 more years, and then they get to play together 3-4 more years in Brooklyn, which is what they wanted to do. The Lakers, on the other hand, it's over. Like, it's done. You've got LeBron and AD, and you've got some okay talent around it. That's about it. But Westbrook, that whole situation's done. I've been in these locker rooms literally where these players cannot get together. They cannot get along. And again, I was telling my son, I was like, you know what? In Westbrook's mind, he still is this triple-double machine. He knows I can do it my way, and we can go out there and win games. It doesn't work that way, though, and we saw that last year. So the thing that's got to happen is Westbrook has to flip it in his mind. Say, you know what? I'm making $47 million. I'm alive. I'm breathing. I'm playing in the NBA. I'm going to accept this role, whatever this role is. And it might be an absolute machine on the defensive end, getting in like a Pat Bev role, right? That could be something that sparks the defense, and also it sparks LeBron James and AD and says, dude, this dude is working for us. All right, we're going to go to battle for him. It's those little tweaks that if you've never been in a locker room, that's what matters. And so Westbrook can change this whole thing. He can go into an absolute beast mode, take all of that energy to the defensive end, to the offensive glass, whatever it has to be. We know he's not going to shoot, so he's got to be cutting. He's got to be setting screens. He's got to be moving, at least getting the defense to move a little bit instead of standing over and watching LeBron. That's the biggest killer. So he's been seen a bunch, not with his teammates, and Kyrie has been seen a bunch in LA. I think inevitably Lakers want Westbrook out of there. Kyrie wants in, but Kevin Durant's got to move first. Now, I am your NBA white guy. If you would, right now, comment down below what you... Now, if you would, comment down below what you think of my opinion on Russell Westbrook and his mind, and actually coming from a Hooper's perspective. I am very curious to think of your opinion of my opinion. I am the NBA white guy. I talk all things NBA hoops from a Hooper's perspectives. So make sure you tap that subscribe button and you click the bell so you're notified every time I do a new video. And until the next video, homies, we'll catch you later.